Hi everybody, my name is Jason.
I'm Jaden.
And we are the Yahoo and the Torah channel, and we are doing another proof reading, and this time it is in the book of Hebrews. If you guys would like to follow along, if Jaden misses anything in his wonderful reading, then we will have to get it fixed. And so here we are beginning. Hit it up, Jade.
Yahuwah, having of old spoken in many portions and many ways to the fathers of the Nevi'im with
By fathers what?
By the Nevi'im.
Okay.
With underscore B with an apostrophe and 2 I's, has in these last days spoken to us by the capital Ben with a funky E, whom capital He has appointed heir of all, through whom also capital He made.
Through whom also.
Also He made. Capital
E.
He made the ages of,
The what?
Made the ages,
Right.
Who, being the brightness of the esteem and the exact representation of capital His substance, and sustaining all by the capital word of capital His power, having made a cleansing of our sins through capital Himself, sat down at the right hand of the capital greatness on high, having become so much better than the messengers, and capital He.
Messengers,
as capital He has inherited a more excellent capital name than them, period. Capital 4, to which of the messengers did capital He ever say, quotes, capital You are capital My, capital Ben with a funky E, today I have brought capital You forth, quotes, question mark, capital and again, quotes, capital I shall be to capital Him a capital Father, and capital He shall be to me a capital Ben with a funky E, quotes, question mark. Is that right? The quotes be inside the question mark?
Yeah, I know it's a little weird. No, it's not.
Okay,
I was just talking about the whole thing. The whole sentence is not just that statement is a question, but anyway.
Capital and when capital He again brings the first dash capital born into the world,
First dash born?
Yeah, capital first dash born into the world, capital He says, quotes, capital let all the messengers of Yahuwah do reverence to capital Him, period, quotes, capital and of the messengers indeed, capital
Messengers
He.
with a apostrophe at the end?
No.
Nothing.
No.
And of the messengers.
And of the messengers, indeed, yeah, there's no, I think. That would be, I think, Google, or the word. That does that,
so
asks you for apostrophes.
IΔRIM 1, and what's the mistake? Oh, messengers.
Yeah, messengers.
Messengers, indeed.
Indeed, capital He says, you want me to keep going?
He says,
capital He says,
He says,
quotes,
okay,
dot,
okay,
who is making capital His messengers, spirit, and capital His servants a flame of fire, period, quotes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Capital but to the capital Ben with a funky E, quotes, capital Your throne, capital O, capital Elohim, is forever and ever, a scepter of straightness is the scepter of capital Your reign, period. Quotes, capital You have loved righteousness and hated lawlessness, period. Capital because of this, Yahuwah, capital Your, capital Elohim, has anointed capital
Your?
Yep. Elohim, capital Elohim, has anointed capital You with the oil of gladness more than capital Your companions, period. Quotes, capital and, quotes, capital You, capital Adonai, the underscore under the D, founded the earth in the beginning, and the Shamayim and the works. Are the works of your capital
works
Your
or work
of your capital Your hands, period. Quotes, capital they shall perish, but capital You remain, period. Capital and they shall all grow old like a garment, capital and like a mantle, capital You shall fold them up, and they shall be changed, period. Capital but capital You are the same, and capital Your years shall not fail, period. Quotes.
Years shall not fail, period, quotes.
Yep. Years, right?
Yeah, years.
Capital and to which of the messengers did capital He ever say, quotes, capital sit at capital My right hand, until capital I make capital Your enemies a footstool for capital Your feet, quotes, question mark. Capital yep. Are they not all serving spirits sent out to attend those who are about to inherit deliverance, question mark.
Those who are about to inherit deliverance,
yep.
question mark. Anything else?
Nope.
No quotes on that at all?
Nope.
Okay, let's do it. All right. We are now in two, right. Okay, and 1 second here. All right, now we're getting back into this thing. This is the second one. Go ahead, Jade.
Capital because of this we have to pay more attention to what we have heard, comma, lest we drift away, period. Capital 4, if the word spoken through messengers prove to be firm, comma, and every transgression and this dash obedience.
Wait. Disobedience?
Yeah, this dash obedience.
That's okay. So that the dash is because it is on the other line.
Yeah.
That's one word. So it's disobedience.
I mean, he did it right?
Yeah, he did it right. He didn't put a dash in there.
No, oh, okay.
Would you put a dash?
Yeah, I would have.
So if it's the same word, if it's only going to the next line, that's not right. So
since you're reading his, he says that he just made it to the end of his first one of the proofreading.
Okay, cool. That was from Bobby Z. Okay, cool. Okay, let's rock and roll. Mr. Jubs, where you at?
We are on word number. We're still on this dash obedience. Receive a right reward, comma.
Yep.
How shall we escape if we neglect so great a deliverance, comma, which first began to be spoken by the capital Adam with underscore D, comma, and was confirmed to us by those that heard, comma, capital Elohim, also bearing witness both with signs and wonders, comma, with various miracles, comma, and gifts of the capital Ruach with a dot under the H, Ha, apostrophe, capital Kodesh, comma, distributed according to
Kodesh, comma.
Kodesh, comma, that's what I said.
Yep.
Distributed according to capital his own desire, question mark. Capital 4, it is not to messengers that capital he has subjected the world to come, comma, concerning which we speak, period. Capital but where some but somewhere.
Yep.
One has witnessed, comma, saying, comma, quotes, capital what is man that capital you remember him.
Is it capital U?
Yeah, because especially it's talking about Yahuwah.
But that's you got to say it.
I did.
I don't think so.
Capital U.
Remember him.
Remember him, comma, or the son of man that capital you look after him, question mark. Quotes, capital you have made him a little lower than the messengers, period. Capital you have crowned him with esteem and respect, comma, and put him over the works of capital your hands, period. Quotes, capital you have put all in subjection under his feet, period. Quotes, capital 4, in that capital he put all in subjection under him, comma, capital he left not that is not subjected to him, period. Capital but now we do not yet see all subjected to him, period. Capital but we do see him who has
capital him, right?
Capital him who was made for a little while lower than the messengers, comma, Yehoshua, comma, because of the suffering of death crowned with esteem and respect, comma, that by the favor of capital Elohim, capital he should taste death for everyone, period. Capital 4, it was fitting for capital him, comma, because of whom all are, and through whom all are.
Whom are all are. Okay.
That doesn't sound right. Comma, in bringing many sons to esteem, comma, to make the prince, capital princely, capital leader of.
Capital leader.
Yep, of their deliverance perfect through sufferings. Capital 4, both capital he who makes kadosh and those who are being made kadosh are all of capital 1, comma, for which reason capital he is not ashamed to call them brothers, period.
Period or comma?
Oh, comma.
Okay.
Saying, comma, quotes, capital I shall announce capital your capital name to capital my brothers, comma, in the midst of the congregation, capital I shall sing praise to capital you, period, quotes. Capital and again, comma, quotes, capital I shall put my capital my trust in capital him, period, quotes, capital and again, comma, quote, quotes C, comma, capital
C,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
comma,
yeah, capital, comma, capital I and the children whom Yahuwah gave capital me, period, quotes,
capital me,
yeah, period, quotes.
Yahuwah gave capital me,
Gave capital me, period, quotes.
Me is capital.
Yep.
Okay. Dang it. Okay, so Yahuwah gave me. He's doing pretty good. Okay, Yahuwah gave
Capital me, period, quotes.
capital me, period, quotes. Okay, let us continue on.
Capital therefore.
Wait, okay.
14. Capital therefore, comma, since the children share in flesh and blood, comma, capital he, capital himself, similarly shared in the same, comma, so that by means of capital his death, capital he might destroy him having the power of death, comma, that is, comma, the devil, comma, and deliver those who throughout life were held in slavery by fear of death, period. Capital 4, comma, doubtless, comma, capital he does not take hold of the messengers, comma.
Hold of the messengers?
Hold of messengers, comma. But capital he takes hold of the seed of capital Abraham with an underscore B.
Wait, I don't have Abraham. Funky B?
Yeah. What does it say?
It's just Abraham, which is a regular B. Abraham needs a funky B. Alright, so Abraham needs funky B.
Yep.
Funky B. Okay, 16. Alright, so continue on 17.
Abraham, period.
Yep.
Capital so in every way, capital he had to be made like capital his brothers, comma, in order to become a compassionate and trustworthy capital Kohen with a funky E, ha, apostrophe, capital Gadol, in matters related to Yahuwah, comma, to make
Yahuwah, comma?
Yeah.
Okay. We do not have it. So this is where you got to tell me some jokes. What you got?
Jokes.
You have anything?
I'll give you a little trivia. If you want to do a little underscore under the V, it's just the Alt key and then 7687.
What?
Yeah, if you want to do a funky V.
I can't do alts in this.
I know, I'm giving trivia to people.
Oh, that's
this
trivia?
is for them, yeah, if people ever want to do that.
Killing me, Smalls. Okay, what's this problem here? What is this?
There's no comma after Yahuwah.
Oh, related to Yahuwah, comma?
Yeah.
Related to Yahuwah, comma. Then what?
To make atonement for the
To make
atonement for the sins of the people, period.
atonement for the sins of the people, period.
Yep.
Okay, so it's related to Yahuwah, comma,
Yep.
to make.
To make, two different words, T-O, make,
Yeah.
atonement for the sins of the people, period.
Atonement for the sins of the people, period.
Yep.
Okay, go on.
Capital 4, in what capital he had suffered, comma, capital himself being tried, comma, capital he is able to help those who are tried, period.
Okay.
Alright, that's chapter 2.
Yep. Tres.
Ready?
It's going on. Are you ready?
Yep. Are you?
Okay, here we go. How many verses?
So I've noticed here in Hebrews, there's commas after therefore at the beginning of sentences, where in the Old Testament there's no commas or anything. And Word asks to correct that, but I never do it. So there's just no comma. It says therefore, and there should be a comma. I could say therefore, but there's not.
Yeah.
Just therefore this.
Yeah, you would think. All right, hold on. All right, here we go. Make it happen.
Capital therefore, Kodesh brothers, comma, partakers of the calling of the Shamayim, comma, closely consider the capital emissary and capital Kohen with a funky E, ha, apostrophe, capital Gadol, of our confession, comma, capital Mashiach with a dot under the last H.
Funky H.
Yeah, under the last H.
Funky H.
Yeah,
last H.
the last H. There's two H's in it.
Yeah, last H.
Yehoshua, comma.
Yeah.
Who was trustworthy to capital him, who appointed capital him, comma, as also capital Moshe, and all capital his, capital house.
There's no
period.
funky letters on Moshe?
No.
Capital his and capital house?
Yep.
Okay.
Capital 4, this capital 1 has been deemed worthy of more esteem than capital Moshe, comma, as much as capital he who built the house enjoys more respect than the house, period. Capital 4, every house is built by someone, comma, but capital he who is who built all is capital Elohim, period.
Okay, but capital he who built all is capital Elohim?
Yep.
Okay, period.
Capital Moshe indeed was trustworthy in all capital his, capital
In
house.
all his, capital house? Okay.
Yep, as a servant, comma, for a witness of what would be spoken, comma.
Would be spoken?
Yep.
Okay.
But capital Mashiach with a dot under the last H.
Funky H.
Yeah, as a capital Ben with a funky E over capital his own capital house, comma, whose capital house we are, if we hold fast to the boldness and the boasting of the expectation firm to the end, period.
Okay.
Capital therefore, comma, as the capital Ruach with a dot under the the funky H, ha, apostrophe, capital Kodesh says, comma, quotes capital today, it, comma, if you hear capital his voice, comma, capital do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, comma, in the day of trial in the wilderness, comma, where your fathers tried me, comma, proved me, comma, and capital me.
Tried capital me.
Yeah, proved capital me, comma, and saw capital my works 40 years, period. Quotes capital therefore, capital I loathed with all.
Was loathed.
I was loathed with that generation, comma, and said, comma, quote, capital they always go astray in their heart, comma, and they have not known capital my capital ways, period, quote.
Okay.
Quote, capital as, capital I swore in capital my wrath, comma, quote, capital if they shall enter into my rest, dot, 3 dots, quote, quotes, look out, comma, brothers, comma, lest there be in any of you a wicked heart of unbelief and falling away from the living, capital Elohim, comma, but encourage one another daily, comma, while it is called, quotes, capital today, comma, quotes, lest any of you be hardened by deceit of sin, period.
By the deceit of sin?
By the deceit of sin, period. Capital 4, we have become partakers of capital Mashiach with a funky last H, if we hold fast the beginning of our trust firm to the end.
Comma?
Comma, yep. While it is said, comma, quotes, capital today, comma, if you hear, capital his voice, comma, do not harden your hearts as in the rebellion, period, quotes. Capital 4, comma, having heard, comma.
Wait, for what?
Capital 4, who, comma, having heard, comma, rebelled, question mark.
Yep.
Capital, was it not all who came out of capital Mizraim, comma, led by capital Moshe, question mark. And with whom was capital he loathed 40 years, question mark. Capital, was it not with those who sinned, comma, whose corpses fell in the wilderness, question mark. Capital, and to whom did capital he swear that they would not enter into capital his rest, comma, but to those who did not obey, question mark. Capital, so we see that they were unable to enter in because of unbelief, period.
Great. That was really good. It's not bad at all. That's a lot of text, not a lot of errors there. So, Chris, if you ever listen to this, good job, homeboy. Good job, buddy. Okay, what chapter are we on now?
4.
4? Okay. All right. And let us. Are you sure on 4?
Yeah.
Okay, 4. Are you dying?
No.
Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Therefore, comma.
Therefore, comma, since a promise remains of entering into capital his rest, comma. Did I say capital his? I don't know if it's a capital his rest, comma.
Wait, what are you saying?
Entering into a
Into
capital his rest, comma.
Yep.
Let us fear lest any of you seem to have come short of it, period. Capital 4, indeed, the capital good, capital news was brought to us as well as to them, comma, but the capital word which they heard did not profit them, comma, not having been mixed with belief in those who heard it, period. Capital 4, we who have believed do enter into that rest, comma, as capital he has said, comma, quotes, capital as, capital I swore in capital my wrath, comma, if they shall enter into capital my rest, 3 dots, quotes, capital and yet capital his
Quotes, right?
Yeah, 2 quotes. Like
Quotes.
Double line. Quotes.
No, there's a quote. Quote as a single line. Quotes.
Yes,
There's 2 of those.
I say quotes.
Quotes.
There's 2
Right,
quotes.
I know. I had this conversation with you.
Yeah.
Capital and.
Capital and yet capital his works have come into being from the foundation of the world. Period. Capital 4, somewhere capital he has said thus about the 7th day, comma, quote, capital and capital Elohim rested on the 7th day from all capital his works, comma, quotes, capital and in this again, comma, quotes, capital if they shall enter into capital my rest, 3 dots, quotes, capital since then it remains for some to enter into it, comma, and those who formerly received the good news, capital good, capital news, did not enter in because of disobedience, comma, capital he again defines a certain day, comma, quotes, capital today, comma, quotes, saying through Dawood, capital Dawood with a funky D, last D, so much later, comma, as it has been said, comma, quotes, capital today, comma, if you hear his, capital his voice, comma, do not harden your hearts, period, quotes, capital 4, if capital Yehoshua established them in rest, comma, he would not have spoken of another day after that, period, capital so, there remains a capital Shabbat dash keeping for the
Shabbat keeping?
Shabbat dash keeping.
I don't think there should be a dash there. I think he did that right. Shabbat keeping. Was that on the second line? It moved to the next line? Yeah, so like that, you wouldn't put a dash in that, right?
I would.
You would? Okay,
I would.
Well, let's talk about that right now. You wouldn't do that, right?
Yeah.
Sabbath keeping, Sabbath dash keeping is not a word, right? You have to look on yours if it's on 2 lines.
Shabbat, I feel like it's 2 separate words, Shabbat keeping.
Yeah, it is 2 separate words. There's no dash there. That's the point. The dash is only because it moved to the second line. I don't know why they did that.
Okay, you're saying if I would write this out, Shabbat, I do Shabbat space keeping?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes no sense.
I think is that dash towards the end of the line?
It's Shabbat dash, is right at the end of the line, and it goes keeping in the next line.
I don't know why they did that. I don't think it's
Okay,
Shabbat
I'm
keeping.
pretty sure Shabbat keeping is 2 different words.
Yeah, it is 2 different words. So you wouldn't put a dash
Yeah,
in
the
there,
dash
it's
makes
a
no
space.
sense. That's some grammatical
Shabbat
errors.
space keeping, yeah, that's Africanese.
So maybe we should put the dash in this here in this one?
I don't know. I'll send it to your mother. She can figure it out.
There's some,
I mean,
I've
there's-
definitely seen some grammatical
We
errors.
have to,
here.
if we go in and look at the ISR, it'd be exactly the same as the ISR.
I don't know if you've noticed, but well, I guess you wouldn't.
Wait, what chapter
You'll
is
read
this?
this. This is chapter 4.
Okay.
In some of these,
Uh-huh.
and so usually there's a space between the numbers and the first of the sentence. Some of them are literally touching the number. They didn't space them out when they put a lot of them in.
Yeah. They didn't have all the technical advances that we have back when they stole this. Our ways of stealing this is far more superior. Okay, let's roll on.
Okay.
Plus, we have a team of people. I think they only had like Stealing Max and his crazy wife. So,
Okay, Shabbat dash keeping for the people of capital Elohim, period.
yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Capital 4, the 1, comma, having entered into capital his, rest, comma, has himself also rested from his works, comma, as capital Elohim from his own, period. Capital, let us therefore do our utmost to enter into that rest, comma, lest anyone fall after the same example of capital or disobedience, period. Capital 4, the word, capital word of Yahuwah is living, comma, and working, comma, and sharper than any two-edged sword.
Two-edged edge?
Yeah, because we go to the next line.
Yeah, so it'd be two-edged. Yeah, so
Two-edged sword, comma.
see, that's retarded. What, do we need to put this in?
I don't know. I mean, it's in here. I mean, it's changing it, isn't it? If it's not there, I don't know.
All right, let's just put it in. I don't know. Let your mother figure it out. All right, so two-edged, so then two, TWO,
Dash,
TWO.
edge, EDGED, sword, comma.
Two-edged sword, comma.
Comma.
Okay, go ahead.
Cutting through even to the dividing of being and spirit, comma, and of joints and marrow, comma, and able to judge the thoughts and intentions of the heart, period. Capital and there is no creature hidden from capital his sight, comma, but
Wait, comma?
yeah, sight, comma,
Sight, comma or semicolon?
comma.
Okay, hold on.
It does that for some reason when it takes it when you copy the comma, it makes a semicolon.
It does.
Yeah, I've noticed that. You have to go back and change it.
Okay, so his sight,
Comma.
his sight, SIGHT, comma, but all,
First one.
13.
But
All are naked.
but all are naked and laid bare before the eyes of capital him, with whom is our account, period. Capital therefore, comma, since we have a great capital Kohen with funky E, ha apostrophe capital Gadol, who has passed through the capital Shemaim, comma,
Capital Shamin?
or just Shemaim, comma, Yehoshua, the capital Ben with a funky E of Yahuwah, comma, let us hold fast our confession, period. Capital 4, we do not have a capital Kohen with a funky E, ha apostrophe capital Gadol, unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, comma, but capital 1, who was tried in all respects as we are, comma, apart from sin, period. Capital therefore, comma, let us come boldly to the throne of favor, comma, in order to receive compassion, comma, and to find and find favor for timely help, period.
Okay. Good job. Good job, Bobby Z. Everybody go to the Bobby Z channel. Bobby Z. Somewhere over in the UK, I think. I don't know. If you don't know, I'll have to post a link one of these days so everybody knows. All right, Jade, you ready?
Yep.
What do we got? Oh, we got
14.
14. Okay.
Not too long of chapters, guys.
No. All right, let's go.
Capital 4, every Kohen with a funky E taken from among men is appointed on behalf of men in matters relating to Yahuwah, comma, to both gifts and
Wait. To what?
to offer both gifts and offerings for sins, comma.
Oh, all right.
Is that good?
You read that way wrong.
Alrighty. Being able to have a measure of feeling for those not knowing and being led astray, comma, since he himself is also surrounded by weakness, period. Capital and on account of this he has to offer for sins, space dash space, as for the people, comma, so also for himself, period. Capital and no one obtains this esteem for himself, comma, but he who is called by Yahuwah, comma, even
Wait. Who's called by even? He's called by even.
Yahuwah, comma, even as capital Aaron also
Called by,
was.
what is it?
Called by Yahuwah, comma, even as capital Aaron
Okay, hold
also was, period.
Okay, so now hold on. I got the paste. Now the mistake is what?
It's no Yahuwah. I think you're missing
Wait,
Yahuwah.
where is it?
But he who is called by Yahuwah? I think you're missing
He who-
Yahuwah.
Who is called by Yahweh?
Yeah.
Comma or anything?
Comma.
comma, even.
Even as capital Aaron also was, period.
Even as Aaron, no funky letters, also was, period.
Yeah.
Okay, let's roll back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Capital so.
Wait,
Also,
what verse was it?
5.
There we go.
Capital so also. Ha apostrophe capital Mashiach with a funky H in the last one did not extol capital himself to become capital Kohen with a funky E. Ha apostrophe capital Gadol, comma, but it was capital he who said to capital him, comma, quotes capital you are capital my capital Ben with a funky E, comma, today capital I have brought capital you forth, period, quotes. Capital as capital he also says in another place, comma, quotes capital you are a capital Kohen with a funky E forever according to the order of the capital Melchizedek with a funky D, comma, quotes.
Yep.
Who, comma, in the days of his flesh, comma.
Capital his flesh?
Who, in the days of capital his flesh, comma, when capital he had offered up prayers and petitions with strong crying and tears to capital him who was able to save him, capital him from death, comma, and was heard because of capital his reverence, comma, though being a capital Ben with a funky E, comma, capital he learned obedience by what he suffered.
Hold on, dog. Eli, get the dogs right here. Bubs, knock it off. Panto, come here. Alright, where are we at?
They're on.
Suffered 8. And capital land?
Capital, yeah. No, capital and having been perfected, comma, capital he became the capital causer of everlasting deliverance to all those obeying capital him, comma, having been designated by capital Yahuwah, or not capital Yahuwah, it's Yahuwah. Having been designated by Yahuwah.
No, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yours says that?
Yeah. 10 says, having been designated by Yahuwah, a capital Kohen,
Yeah, it's been designated by a Kohen Hagdal. You wouldn't even know Yahuwah.
By Yahuwah. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it would sound normal.
It did. They took it right out. A Kohen Hagdal. You would just know who it was, though. Okay, so designated by Yahuwah.
A capital Kohen.
Yahuwah a Kohen.
A capital Kohen with a funky E. Ha apostrophe capital
Right.
Gadol.
So designated by Yahuwah a. There's no comma or anything?
Nope.
Okay, hogged it all. Okay.
A capital Kohen, funky E, Hod, apostrophe space, capital Gadol, quotes according to the order of the capital.
Wait, I'm lost again. I'm lost all. Okay, quotes.
Quotes according to.
Wait, is Hagdal, where's the quotes at? Is it close to according?
According, yeah, it's touching according.
Okay, go ahead.
To the order of capital Melchizedek with a funky D, comma, quotes, concerning whom we have much to say, comma, and hard to explain, comma, since you have become dull of hearing, period. Okay. Capital 4, indeed, comma, although by this time you ought to be teachers, comma, you need someone else to teach you.
Someone else?
You need someone to teach you. Again, the first elements of the capital words of Yahuwah, period. Capital N, you have become such as need milk and not solid food, period. Capital 4, everyone partaking of milk is inexperienced in the capital word of righteousness, comma, for he is a child, period. Capital but solid food is for the mature whose senses have been trained by practice to discern both good and evil. Hey, practice is spelled right here, period.
It is spelled right. Is yours, yours says P-R-A-T?
Yeah, it's not no S.
Wow, these guys.
So, like, the New Testament is proper and fixed, where the Old Testament...
What chapter was that?
That was 5.
Oh, man, that was 5. I missed 5. Okay, Mom will have to figure that out. This is chapter 6. We're moving on to 6, right?
Yep.
No, we just did 6.
No, we're doing 5.
Oh, we're starting 6?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 20. Okay. All right, we'll break at 7. Okay. We'll break after 7. There's 14 in Hebrews, right? Is there 13?
Yes, 13.
All right, let's do this.
Capital therefore, comma, having left the capital word of the beginning of capital Hod, apostrophe capital Mashiach with the funky H, let us go.
Mashiach, comma?
Yeah, comma, let us go on to perfection, comma, not laying again the foundation of repentance from dead works, comma, and belief toward
and
of belief toward Elohim, comma, of the teaching of immersions, comma, and of laying on of hands, comma, and resurrection of the dead.
And of resurrection?
Resurrection of the dead, comma, and of everlasting judgment, period.
Just like when you were a kid, huh? Daddy's reading with you, huh?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah, but I didn't have to actually announce
Well, we should have had you do this, because it's good.
Capital, and this we shall do, comma, if capital Elohim indeed permits.
Period.
Period. Capital 4, it is impossible for those who were once enlightened, comma, and have tasted the gift of Shamayim, comma, and have become partakers of the capital Ruach, the funky H, Ha, apostrophe capital Kadesh, comma, and having tasted the good
Having tasted?
and have tasted the good capital word of Yahuwah and the powers of the age to come, comma, and fall away, comma, to renew them again to repentance, space, having impaled for themselves the capital Ben with funky E of Yahuwah again,
Whoa,
comma.
Alright, so let's roll this. Oh man, there's a funky smell out there. Smell it? Okay, what is it? What's that thing? Jeff, where's the fix?
There's no Yahuwah.
Where's that then?
Themselves the Ben of Yahuwah.
Themselves, the bin
Of Yahuwah again, comma.
the bin of Yahuwah, the bin of Yahuwah, comma.
Again.
What? Oh, bin of Yahuwah again,
Again, comma.
comma, and
put capital him to open shame, period.
okay, all right. Whoops, crikey, I just messed it up. Hold on. And okay, let's make it rain.
Alright. To put capital him to open shame, period. Capital 4, the ground that is drinking the rain, often falling on it, comma, and is bearing plants fit for those by whom it is tilled, comma, receives capital Baraka with a funky K.
Receive capital Baraka?
No, it's not capital, it's Baraka.
Oh.
From Elohim, capital Elohim, comma. But if it brings forth thorns and thistles, comma, it is rejected and ne'er to being cursed, comma, and ends up being burned, period. Capital But, although we speak in this way, comma, beloved, comma, we are persuaded, comma, concerning you, comma, better matters which possess deliverance, period. Capital 4, Yahuwah is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love which you have shown toward capital his capital name, comma, in that you have attended to the Kodashim, comma, and do attend, period. Capital And we desire that each one of you show the same eagerness to the entire confirmation of expectation until the end, comma, in order that you do not become sluggish, comma, but imitate those who through belief and patience inherit the promises, period. Capital 4, capital Elohim, comma, having promised capital Abraham with a funky B, comma, since capital he could swear by no one greater, comma, swore by capital himself, comma, saying, comma, quotes, capital truly, comma, Baraka with an underscore with a funky K.
I don't got that. Hold on. Okay, so Baraka, and so Berakah needs
funky K.
K. Okay.
Baraka, I shall, you ready?
Yep.
Capital I shall Barak with a funky K, you, comma, and increasing I, capital I shall increase you, period, quotes. Capital N, so, after being patient, comma, after being patient, comma, he obtained the promise, period. Capital 4, men do indeed swear by the one greater, comma, and...
One's not capitalized?
No.
Comma, okay.
And an oath for confirmation is for them an end of all dispute, period. Capital In this way, capital Elohim, comma, resolving to show even more clearly to the heirs of promise the unchangeableness of capital His purpose, comma, confirmed it by an oath, comma, so that by two unchangeable matters in which it is impossible for capital Elohim to lie, comma, we might have strong encouragement, comma, we who have fled for refuge to lay hold of the expectation put before us, comma, which we have as an anchor of the Kai with a funky H, comma, both safe and firm, comma, and entering into that within the veil, comma, where Yehoshua has entered as a forerunner for us, comma, having become a capital Kohen with funky E, Ha apostrophe capital Gadol, forever according to the order of capital Melchizedek with a funky D, period.
Nice. Alright, moving right along. Jade, you ready for this one?
Yep.
We've been at this 34 minutes. Ouch, dog's clawing me. 1 second here. Okay, so we're in 7. Alright, so here we go. Alright, 7. Alright, Jubs. Hold on, how many verses? Oh, long, 28. Okay.
Alright. Capital 4 this, capital Melchizedek with a funky D, comma, capital sovereign of capital of capital Shalem.
Of?
No.
Okay. Okay. Hold up. Alright, of. Paste. Of no good.
Of capital Shalem with a funky E,
yeah.
comma. Ready?
Yeah.
Capital Kohen with a funky E of the most, capital high, capital most, capital high, capital Elohim, comma, who met capital Abraham with a funky B, returning from the slaughter of the sovereigns, and capital not capital, it's Barak underscore K, him, comma, to whom also capital Abraham with a funky B, gave a tenth part of all, comma, first of all translated as, comma, quote, capital sovereign of capital righteousness, comma, quote.
Capital righteousness?
Yep. And then also capital sovereign of capital Shalem with a funky E, comma, that is, quote, capital sovereign.
That is, comma.
That is, comma, quote, capital sovereign of peace.
Capital peace,
comma, quote.
Slow down there, son.
Without father, comma, without mother, comma, without genealogy, comma, having neither beginning of days nor end of Kai with a funky H, comma, but having been made like the capital Ben with a funky E of Yahuwah, comma, remains
Ben of Yahuwah,
comma, remains
okay,
a.
I got this. Okay. All right, Eli, go grab this stupid dog right here. It's cutting my leg. Josh. Okay, where's Jebs? What's the fix again? Oh, you want to switch out?
If you're ready.
Yeah, he's never ready. Where's that, Jebs?
It's I think a comma after Yahuwah, isn't it?
Comma.
Ben of Yahuwah, comma.
Ben of Yahuwah. Where are we at?
3.
Yeah, but where?
But having been made like the Ben of Yahuwah,
Having been made like the capital Ben of Yahuwah,
comma, remains a capital Kohen with funky E for all time period.
Of Yahuwah.
Yep.
Remains, comma.
Yahuwah, comma.
Yahuwah, comma.
Remains a capital Kohen.
Okay. Capital Kohen.
Capital Kohen.
For all time period.
For all time period, yep.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Capital now, see how great this one was, comma, to whom even the ancestor, capital Abraham with a funky B, gave a tenth of the choicest booty, period. Capital and, truly, comma, those who are the sons of capital Louis with a funky E, comma, who received the kahuna, comma, have a command to receive tithes from the people according to the capital Torah, comma, that is, comma, from their brothers, comma, though they have come from the loins of capital Abraham with a funky B, comma. However, comma, the capital one whose genealogy is not derived from them received tithes from capital Abraham, funky B, comma, and Barak underscore K with a funky K, the capital one who held the promises, period. Capital and it is beyond all dispute that the lesser is Baruch underscore K by the better, period. Capital and here it is men who die that receive tithes, comma, but there it is someone of whom it is witnessed that capital he lives, period. Capital and one might say that through capital Abraham with a funky B, even capital Louis with a funky E, comma, who received tithes, comma, gave tithes, comma, for he was still in the loins of his father when capital Melchizedek with the funky D met him, period. True, capital truly, comma, then, comma, if perfection were through the capital Levitical with a funky E, kahuna, space dash space, for under it the people were given the Torah, space capital Torah, space dash space. Why was there still need for another capital Kohen with a funky E to arise according to the order of capital Melchizedek with a funky D, comma, and not to be called according to the order of capital Aaron, question mark. Capital 4, the kahuna being unchanged, comma, being changed, comma, of necessity, there also takes place a change of law, period. Capital 4, capital he, of whom this is said belongs to another tribe, comma, from which no one has attended at the altar. Had attended at the altar, period. Capital 4, it is perfectly clear that our capital Adon with a funky D arose from capital Yehuda with a funky D, comma, a tribe about which capital Moshe never spoke concerning kahuna, comma, and this is clearer still, comma, if another capital Kohen with a funky E arises in the likeness of capital Melchizedek with a funky D, who has become, comma,
Melchizedek, comma,
yeah, who has become, comma, not according to the law of flesh to command, comma, but according to the power of endless Chi with a funky H, comma. 4, capital he witnesses, comma, quotes capital you, are a capital Kohen with a funky E forever according to the order of capital Melchizedek with a funky D, period, quotes. Capital 4, there is indeed a laying aside of the former command because of its weakness and unprofitableness, comma, for the capital Torah being perfected not, comma, but the bringing in of a better expectation, comma, through which we draw near to capital Elohim, period. Capital and it was not without an oath, exclamation. Capital 4, they indeed became Kohanim without an oath, comma, but capital he with an oath by capital him who said to capital him, comma, quotes Yahuwah has sworn and shall not regret, comma, quote capital you are capital Kohen with a funky E forever according to the order of capital Melchizedek with a funky D, period, quote, quotes. Capital by as much as this Yehoshua has become a guarantor of a better capital covenant, period. Capital and indeed, comma, those that became Kohanim were many, comma, because they were prevented by death from continuing, comma, but capital he, comma, because he remains forever, comma, has an unchangeable kahuna, capital kahuna, period. Therefore, capital he is also able to save completely those who draw near to capital Yahuwah through him, comma,
through capital him.
Yep. Comma, ever living to make intercession for them, period. Capital 4, it was fitting that we should have such a capital Kohen with a funky E, ha, apostrophe, capital Gadol, space, dash, space, kind, dash, innocent, kind, undefiled, comma, having been separated from sinners, comma, and exalted above the Shamim, comma, who does not need, comma, as those Kohanim, ha, apostrophe, Gadolim, comma, to offer up slaughter offerings day by day, comma, first for his, capital, his own sins, and then for those of the people, comma, for this, capital he did once for all when, capital he, offered up, capital himself, period. Capital 4, the capital Torah appoints as Kohanim, ha, apostrophe, Gadolim, comma, men who have weakness, comma, but the word of the oath which came after the capital Torah, space, dash, space, the capital Ben with the funky E having been perfected forever, period.
Okay. All right, everybody, thank you very much. This is the first half of this. We're going to pick up the next half in a little bit after we get a little bit of a break. We're out.